It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins here. Today we're going to talk to the fellow who's been on here before and see where we stand. He's got a lot of stuff that's been happening and stuff that's going to happen here at the Oxford Performing Arts Center. His name is John Longshore. I won't say Lakeshore. John Longshore is going to be with us. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Appreciate you tuning in this week. Today's guest is John Longshore. He's the director of the Oxford Performing Arts Center. And John has been on the show before, and we're very proud of what they're doing here in Oxford. I want to share that with you, all the people that's in the viewing area. If you're out there in the Pell City, St. Clair County area, this is something that you should pay attention to. Welcome to the show, John Longshore.
Happy to be back, Ken.
I just told John off there, I was talking about Lakeshore this morning as I stuck right on my hand, so I may use it again today. So that's
all right.
When you get old like me, if you get old like me. When you was on here the last time, we talking about, and it's been a year or so.
That's right.
It had a lot happen down there at the Oxford, down on Choccolocca Street.
That's right, downtown Oxford.
And since then, Hubbard's on Main, the restaurant that's opened there since you was on here last, and so people can come in for dinner sometimes and still do the concerts. First of all, how big is that? How many is it seat?
We have 1,130 seats, and Ken, one thing that we're excited about, you know, the BJCC in Birmingham seats about 3,000, Alabama Theater seats about 2,200, the arena seats 18,000, and we're very lucky here in Oxford to have a venue that seats that many people, but it's also a very intimate room. You don't feel like you're in a big arena, and we say that there's no bad seat in the house.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
You can see the action whether you're front row of the theater or the last row of the balcony, and that's something we like to tout.
I have I've watched that many times. I've been down there for a lot of your shows, and the one thing I noticed is the artist sometimes will stop their show and have conversation with the audience, and the audience member they're talking to is in the very last row back there sometimes.
That
as if you and I are talking, because that bounces your theory.
Yeah, the acoustics work well.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't feel like you're in a cave.
Absolutely.
And you can hear real well, and we're proud of that.
And you don't blast them out of there where the folks down front, you got to find tickets. It hurts their ears and stuff. It is so balanced out. Whoever's running control, give them my compliments, because I've got a hearing problem. And
we've got a good team of folks that handle all the production end of things.
You do, and that's something else too. From the greetings at the door, to the seating, to the refreshments, the tickets, to the signatures of autographs afterwards, everybody in your staff seems like that they're on the same sheet of music. They want to make your visit there pleasurable. That's something you'll remember. Is that I just watch your people do that.
That's absolutely the case, and we want every guest, whether they bought the cheapest seat in the house or the most expensive seat, to be treated with respect. And without our audience coming to see shows, Ken, we wouldn't have a venue. And so it's our responsibility to make sure every guest has a wonderful experience from the time they get to the parking lot to the time they get back to their car after the show. And that's something that we've got a wonderful staff, but we also have dozens of volunteers, folks sometimes retired, sometimes younger folks, that they enjoy the arts. And so if any of your viewers are interested in how to volunteer, take a look at us online or give us a call, and we'll be happy to
my information is on here, and they know how to get in touch with me because they can do it on Facebook too.
That's right.
But that's one of the things. From the time you pull up, whether you're parking in the parking lot across the street to wherever, you got the Oxford police there that are making sure there's no congestion, that you get through to park. I never see them backed up. I come in on Choccolocca most of the time. No traffic backed up. They moving everybody in, and everybody's got a parking spot. And the furthest they got to walk is a half a block.
That's right. That's right.
You can't do that in some places.
Well, if you go to Birmingham, once you buy your tickets, you got to pay $10 to park sometimes.
Park in Pell City, and
that's right. I'm glad you mentioned the police department.
Yeah.
Chief Bill Partridge and his guys and girls do a wonderful job of not only managing that traffic, like you said, but it means a lot to people to feel safe. They patrol the parking lot to make sure everybody's vehicles stay safe, and then security inside the venue. So we're very fortunate to have that support from the police department to make everybody feel welcome and safe during their
But
show experience.
it's worth it to sit out there and probably on the porch and just watch them, from the lowest ranking officer up to the lieutenants and the captains that's out there.
That's right.
They either know these people or the people feel like they know them, and it is not you're the police and I got to move over here. It's like, hey, how you doing? How's the kid? It looked like, like the middle line of Walmart when you're trying to get something. Everybody, hey, how you been? But they keep it moving and orderly.
Yep.
And inside there, they're standing around and they're smiling and shaking. People
Very service-minded.
It is, and it's a pleasure to go to any concert. Now I've been to some of them, but one of the first I went to that was kind of like out of my what I like. I like country music.
Sure.
And I like comedy. And I go to the Stardom over in Birmingham quite a bit.
Sure.
We'll talk about that in just a minute. But the group you had there from Ireland, the ladies from
The Women of Ireland.
It was like Riverdance, kinda. But I thought, that's for the big BJCC thing.
Sure.
But man, they come floating through the air like that, and I was down on the front row. And I had a veteran friend that was sitting there next to the last seats, and he said it felt like they went by my nose, And it's like, you were way back there, and I was up there. My gosh, But they did a great, awesome performance.
Absolutely.
And it was like a little old Oxford, Alabama. It used to be the old City Hall building.
That's right.
And it's turned into that. And I noticed you've improved the bathroom things. And
Yeah, we've keep having big audiences, which is a great problem to have. And what we found, Ken, was that particularly, you go just about anywhere and there's not enough women's restrooms. And we wound up having to have intermissions that were sometimes close to 30 minutes long, and nobody wants to have to wait on using the restroom that long. And also our box office was very small and we needed more space. And so we worked with the city council to get a little bit of funding, and we added an all new women's restroom. We built a new box office up front and made our art gallery a bit more accessible. So that was just a small change that really made a big difference.
So somebody comes down before the show, if it's a 6:30 show or something, or 4:35, go in the art gallery, look in there. You got any Larry Martin stuff in there?
We don't have any right now. We're planning on, actually I spoke to Larry Martin's kind of agent today. We're hoping to get his work back in there for the holiday season. People really enjoy looking at his stuff. And
his wild animals and birds and ducks and
beautiful,
stuff.
Beautiful paintings.
Yeah, you want to get back, they're going to bite you. Yeah, that's awesome. But the upcoming is the James Gregory show.
That's right.
Anybody that's never seen him, really,
wow.
You done had him once.
He's sold him out the first time, and we're hoping to have a similar response this time. And you've seen James live before, and I will say he has some of the best Southern humor you can possibly imagine.
Oh my goodness!
And it's funny to hear James talk, because he starts talking about his relatives and telling those stories, and I want to say, I've got a relative just like that. He'll remind you of your family.
Yeah, I drive. I don't know how much time we got left, but they can tell me up in the control room there. I'm running out of this segment, but I want to say we're going to talk more about James Gregory, because I think you still got a few tickets left.
We do. We still got some great seats available.
What is that date?
That is September the 8th.
September the 8th.
That's right.
Thursday
7
night,
p.m. Thursday night. We don't want to compete against football, college or high school, so we got all of our fall shows are on Thursdays.
We're going to go to a break. Come back. We're going to talk more with John. And as we're going to talk about James, we're not going to talk to James Gregory about John Longshore. We're going to talk to John about James. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. We're talking today with John Longshore. He's the director of the Oxford Performing Arts Center. And we're talking about some of the shows. We were talking about James Gregory, the funniest man in the world. One of the things that he tells, of course, let me back it up. When I say go to Stardome, I don't know how many times my daughter and I have drove all the way to Birmingham, paid the money to go in and see this guy. It's one you could take your kids to.
That's right. That's right.
Some of the others over there, I don't even like. I'm afraid to be in there myself.
Sure.
But James is humor that talks about the porch. He can make a whole situation about the porch. Well, we sat on the porch. There goes that Jones boy by. I bet he didn't buy that car. I bet his daddy bought that car from you. Gossiping, you know.
That's right. That's right.
But they don't have porches nowadays. They got a deck, you know. And then he talks about the funniest line he's got is the lottery. He said they stopped by his cousin's house to get him want to get a lottery ticket. I'm going down to get one. He said, how much is it up to? He said, that's $3 million. I don't want for it. And he gets up to $8 million. I don't want for it. And it's $20 million. He said, yeah, get me a couple. He said, what are you going to do with that if you win it? He said, I know exactly what I'll do. I'll go to the phone book. I'll look under R for roofers, and I'll find somebody that come out here and put a roof on my trailer. And if there's anything left over, he just takes humor like that.
That's right.
And I'm stealing this stuff. And James, if you're watching over in Georgia, but he can take the things that we grumble about, like those yellow. He says the orange barrel should be the Alabama's flower.
There you go. There you go. That's about the truth if you think about I-20 and
65 South. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
But he says, don't y'all know y'all can work at night over there? You know, we do in Georgia. But he's gonna be there. And if you don't get your tickets, I can tell you, it will be a sellout because he sells out all over the country, and he's just talking about stuff that everybody in that audience that's over 30 can relate to, and that's happened to him. And it's about flying and stuff like that. It's just he's just a great comedian and a family act, you know. But yeah, I got tickets to Sarah Evans. That's for next year, I think.
That's right. She's in March of next year.
Yeah. So I bet you're going to have a sellout on that one.
Well, based on what our sales are looking like, we're going to have several sellouts next year.
Wow.
And we've got as you know, we've got an all-new country music series sponsored by the folks down at Webb Concrete. They've partnered with us to present that all-new series. So we've got 5 country artists coming. We've got Scotty McCreery from American Idol. Josh Turner, who kind of skews on the more Christian country music side of things. He's got some secular, also got some Christian songs. And Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, which is an old classic.
Oh, I know.
And of course Sarah Evans, like you mentioned, and then Lone Star will close out that series next April.
Now you mentioned Scotty McCreery, and then you mentioned Josh Turner.
That's right.
You know the story that Scotty won American Idol singing Josh Turner's song.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly. So I didn't know you had that.
It's neat to have them kind of back to back there. So Josh will be with us in actually next month in September, and then Josh Turner will be performing in October. So we're excited about that.
It'd be amazing to see them on the show at the same time. That's
absolutely.
Because one copied the other, or he just developed.
Well, from what I understand, they're friends. You know, they Scotty sort of he idolized Josh Turner's vocal style and whatnot. So that's neat to see.
Well, y'all got another. It's like gold and black. You got another one with from this theater type.
That's right. We've got Noble Bank, who's our partner for the Broadway series, and we've got a bigger Broadway series this year. We've got 3 musicals as well as a couple of concerts and a ballet that's going to be performing. And then we have what was our Black and Gold concert series, as of a couple of weeks ago, is now the RMC Regional Medical Center concert series. And so with that, we've got 3 Dog Night coming, and looking forward to that, and a few other shows, along with the Atlanta Pops Orchestra with Chloe Agnew. And Chloe was on she was not Women of Ireland. What's the other group?
The Riverdance.
Riverdance. She was with that group, and she'll be performing with them. So that'll be a fun show.
She'll be performing with a fiddle and all that.
That's right. Singing. She's a vocalist. So I'm looking forward to that.
Wow.
I think it'll be great.
Well, where do you get this? Do you go out? You and some of the people in Orange County, y'all go watch these shows somewhere?
Yeah, sometimes there's a couple of big conferences. One's this year it's in Orlando, and then there's one in New York, and you kind of get to meet with the agents. And I will say, Ken, one of the biggest things that drives the shows that we book is our audience. Believe it or not, I'll have people in the lobby say, "Hey, have you ever thought about so and so?" And sometimes those are really good suggestions, and sometimes maybe shows that wouldn't fit what we do here in Oxford. But we're starting a new program on our website and in our box office. So if you've got an artist to recommend, you can fill out a card or fill out a thing on our website. And if we have so many people say they want to see Ken Rollins come play the guitar, we'll probably book you if you get enough folks. So,
Mike Pruitt, you hear that? Do-wop, pop.
So
we got a little inside thing there.
That's right. But that's what Ken, we've got so many different people in the community that want to see different things. We've been very lucky to have that support for people buying tickets, but I will say that people telling us what they want to hear and see, that's why we have a country music series, is we figured out people want to see country, and we were kind of missing the boat on that audience. And so we've got 5 all-new country shows that we're bringing this year, and hope to continue to bring more as people tell us what it is they want to see on our stage. We don't want want you to have to drive to Atlanta or Birmingham and spend money there. We'd rather you keep it in Alabama and Calhoun County.
I wish Medea had a show that she could bring in, that he could bring in here. Tyler Perry thing. That was over at BJCC. Of course, they have the whole set. You wouldn't have enough room. It's but it was things like that the river dance thing. A lot of people, either in Atlanta, or you in New York, is where you would see these people, or your big Pittsburghs and places like that. But when you can bring that in home here to people that would never ever go see them somewhere else. So sometimes at the casinos,
that's right.
At the Biloxi or place like it, you'll see them. But to see that same act in that close setting, that's what
makes a big difference.
And all the acts come outside.
Just about all of them do. Sometimes they have a real tight schedule and they've got to get on the bus and go to the next city. But overall, we've had everybody come out and visit with the audience, and I will say that makes a big difference too. You get to meet the artist, and that can be a special night to get something signed, a CD or whatever. And I just realized I fibbed. Chloe Agnew from the Pop, she's was with Celtic Woman, and now has gone out on her own. So it wasn't Riverdance.
Social media is a big thing, and from the time one of your shows hits down there to the time it's over with, you can see some of your audience members, some of the people that's standing with Diamond Rio or standing with the Oak Ridge Boys put on a heck of a show.
They sure did.
And it wouldn't have mattered. That stage was perfect for them at that group, and there was no crunch in it. But I'm gonna tell you, that last show you did down there about the tribute to the Patsy Cline, and that was an awesome show.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree. They did a very nice job and thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't see anybody in the house that didn't really enjoy that. That was so good to see them. The guy that played Hank Williams, he had a show way before they ever did it, before they were two tied together.
That's right.
She was doing Patsy and he was doing Hank, and they merged together and put on a more powerful show.
It was enjoyable.
All the way through.
That's right.
Well, what are down on the horizon? Or you got planned for long range, I guess, is what?
We're right now in the process. It's an election year, of course, and so we're, in addition to that, we're working on our budget going forward for the next year, and it's our hope to continue to grow. And obviously, the more folks that support us and want to buy tickets, the more shows we can have. And long term, we're trying to figure out exactly what niche we're going to fit in. And Ken, I will say it's important to us to have something from everybody from young kids all the way up to 110-year-olds, so that there's something for the whole family. You might have some comedy shows that may be a little bit more adult, but we've got some things for kids that we're working on, and so that's what we're working on now, is a long-range plan to ensure that we can continue to grow, but also fill in things like doo-wop, the genres we're not currently representing. So.
We gotta go. They tell me I'm out of time, but I just want to say, Mike Pruitt, I did talk to him about the doo-wop stuff, and the little kids love it all the way up. We can talk more about that. I appreciate you doing this show today.
Thank you, Ken.
Will you come
Pleasure
back
to be
when
here.
we do down the road?
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
I got you on camera set.
All right.
Be right back with some news you can use. Stay right there. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I appreciate John Longshore coming on doing the show today, and we're going to talk about some things, the news that you can use. You're going to need that pen for this one. First of all, I want to remind you that if you've got a veteran or someone that no longer has a use for a power chair, let me know about that. If you don't need it anymore, I got people that need the chairs, and some of them just need it to go to the mailbox, but they're not eligible under Medicaid, Medicare, or the VA to get a chair. So if you got one you're not using, don't set it around and let the batteries run down, because that's about $280 for batteries. So if you got one that you no longer need, just give me a call and I'll make sure. I got 2 people right now that need one. I want to remind you again about the Simplify Bike Run. That starts out at the Harley Davidson place here in Oxford. That's on August the 13th, which is this weekend. So if you're watching the shows on this weekend, you better get down there, because The bike run is, and I forgot what all it benefits, but it's a Simplify, and all you Marines know what that means. Simplify bike run, August 13th down at the Harley Davidson place, so be there. Now, here's where you need your pen. If you're going to the VA and you're going for a hearing for your ears, your audio, there's a new phone number for that because it's not located in the VA Birmingham facility anymore. It's over in the by the parking deck. And the number is 877-894-2600, 877-894-2600, extension 4704. That's extension 4704. And if you, for the eye clinic, as we call it, or the vision care as they call it, it's 866-487-4244. That's 866-487-4244. That's over when you do the parking deck, at the parking deck rather than going to the big VA. They also need some volunteers over there. They're going to have golf carts available to go up and bring you from your parking place to the elevator and vice versa, take you back to your vehicle. So if you'd like to do that, here's a phone number to call. It's 205-933-4396, 205-933-4396, and talk to Patricia and tell her you'd like to volunteer for driving a golf cart for the veterans over there. A lot of people are asking me ways they can help. The Choice Program is working, as I told you, so if you're interested in the Choice Program, call 205-933-8101. When the voice comes on, start talking, press hold for the operator and ask for the Choice Program, and they'll take care of you. The Kia stores in Gadsden and Anniston, 20% off for veterans, firefighters, law enforcement, all your first responders for the services there. If you've got a heavy vehicle service, go and get 20% off if you're a veteran or military or first responder of any sort. So that's good. That's Don Hobson and all his people there. Don Hobson and the owner, Special Forces guy. And let's see what I got time for. Okay, somebody asked me about using having the driver's license with a word veteran on it. You get that done, and it is recognized at Lowe's and for discount there from them. Let's see what else I can throw in here before they run me off. If you need to see the show, if you missed it, it's on Facebook every night. So let me get out of here and give my salute this week goes out to all the law enforcement families, those that await their safe return when they leave every day. So this is for you guys, and I'll see you next week here on Veterans Issues.